All right, y'all. We live. We live. Give me 1 second while I get the live going on all platforms. All right, we live. All right, so I'm gonna always start with this, and it's the one thing I want everybody to get when they first join this live, and it's the one thing I want you to get when you leave this live. If you want your life to get better, you're gonna have to get better. Simple as put, no ifs, ands, or doubts about it. It is up to you and you alone for you to change your life, for you to get the outcome that you want. Now, I got a real time story about me getting better, and uh, because I did this live 2 times already, and this live was not connected to all of the right streaming platforms, and videos wasn't getting uploaded properly, viewers wasn't able to see it, but I had to get better. Right? I had to get, this is a real testament of me getting better. I had to understand what I was doing wrong, and I had to understand what I needed to do right in order to be able to get the goal, which was to get the viewers this video and be able to interact with you all on live more frequently. And now I am, right? We're streaming on all platforms: YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. And so let's chop it up. I really want to talk about today's real estate market, and what I believe that there is I really wanted to give more context about a video I made about there is a perspective that investors are out there operating with low effort, thinking that they're gonna get maximum profit. And if you out there doing that, then this is the video for you, right? If you out there operating under the auspice that you can do whatever you want to do, exactly what you want to do, and get the projected outcome that you want, then I think this is for you, right? If you're someone that has done deals and didn't have the success that you wanted, right? You got a property that you can't finish, you have a property that that is finished, that's not selling. All of this conversation is for you, because the reason we fail is usually because of lack of execution and lack of knowledge. You can almost, correlate any failures that you have to a lack of execution and a lack of knowledge. Just think about it, right? Take a moment and think about it. Think about any failure that you've had in life, and it's usually because you either didn't know how to do something, and so you didn't know how to properly do it the correct way, or you knew how to do something and you didn't execute it. So usually, if you can figure out those two things, then you can have a lot of success. For me, I'm always thinking about how to simplify stuff, right? We complicate the world. We do, man. We always thinking, we always trying to be clever and be witty with our words and make it sound good. But at the core, there's really some core fundamental things to everything in life. And there's the core fundamentals to failing is lack of knowledge and lack of execution. So if you could fix those two things, then a lot of times, all the other little nuanced things in between, right, you're going to get better over time. But you fix those two, you're probably 80% already there. So let's get that out the way. For the people that's in the room, jump in the chat. I got the chat going. We on all platforms right now. Who out there doing deals, man? Who out there actually doing deals? Who actually out there doing deals, making money? Who actually out there doing deals, having a hard time? Because I've been there, right? And I can't act like everything is always perfect. I can't act like I was always profitable. No, I wasn't. My first deal, I lost $15,000 on it. And I'm laughing because it's funny now. It wasn't funny then. It wasn't funny then at all, right? Losing $15,000 on a transaction where you thought you would make 60, 70, that's tough. That's absolutely tough. But guess what I did? I said this before, and a failure is only when you don't get up from the mistake that you made, because it was only a mistake. And it was only a mistake because you didn't know something or you didn't execute right. And so if you can get up from the mistake, then a lot of times that's how you have success. Because guess what? You name me one person Name me one. Name me one. I was gonna say name me two, but name me one person that has had a tremendous amount of success. Or let's even bring this down back to where our eye levels is at, where we can see. Tell me somebody you know that is successful, right? And tell me how many mistakes they did not make. Just tell me, because they all make mistakes. They all make mistakes. You make mistakes along the path to success because mistakes are how you refine and correct. If you never make mistakes, then you never correct. Imagine walking around thinking that you perfect. I mean, some people do that, right? Some people actually walk around here like they perfect, thinking that everything is perfect, thinking that everything is good. God the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, I am. Amen. Somebody wrote a comment that says, God the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, I am. That's right. Because we all believers on this channel. But I lost my train of thought. Oh, imagine walking around like you perfect. You're gonna do everything thinking that it's the right way to do, and you'll never take any correction. You'll always think you got all the answers, and that is a recipe for disaster. Anybody that's operating thinking that they got all the answers is usually somebody that I don't want to listen to. Even my wise counsel has wise counsel. Even my big homie got a big homie. Because that's how you get sharper. Iron sharpens iron. Not bronze sharpens iron. Not steel sharpens iron. Iron sharpens iron. So usually the people that are being sharpened that are people are from the same cloth, on the same path. Right? And so we got to constantly sharpen ourselves. But this message, right, is about people out there that are giving low effort, expecting maximum profit. Now, I'm in the real estate game, and most of my content is real estate related, but this bigger than real estate. It's bigger than real estate. This is life. People are out here giving low effort, expecting maximum salary. People out here giving low effort, expecting the best marriage. People out here giving low effort, expecting God to bless them, right? Because faith without works is dead. Show me your faith by showing me your works. People out here faith believing, but not working. And so in order for you to be successful in life, this is how I operate. Now, everybody may not operate this way, but if you could take something away from how I operate, then I did my job, right? I just want to plant 1-2 seeds and let them grow into big, strong trees. And the way I operate always, and I didn't always have this, but it took me a while to get this. And really, this is what I believe college is for. College is to allow you to refine and make mistakes and really build the person and the character that you want to become. Because college is really a controlled environment. And so in college taught me how to give maximum effort and expect maximum profit. Every time I gave low effort, minimum effort, okay effort, I got okay grades. But when I learned that if I give maximum effort in whatever I'm doing, right? Yeah, and there is some strategy and tips and tools that you got to do in order to get the profit. But in order to be great at everything, you got to give the max amount of effort and energy to be able to accomplish that thing. And once I figured that out, it was a wrap from there. Because what max effort does, it allows you to move with velocity and momentum that will make mistakes seem like minor blips. Minor things that go wrong when you're working with maximum effort and maximum velocity are very minor. And you get to them faster. Because that's the name of the game, right? In order to get the correction, you got to make the mistakes. And so if you're afraid of making mistakes, then it's going to be hard for you to get correction. If you're tiptoeing around trying to figure out if this thing is perfect, then I can tell you right now, it's not. So go get feedback. even now in the career that I'm in today, I believe that all my effort is 100% right, but I know that it's not. But I give 100% effort. When I give it, they make their adjustments. They make minor revisions, minor tweaks and revisions to what I make, and then we make it better. But if I sit on the sideline, thinking about all the answers and thinking about how to make things perfect, then a lot of times it'll never be perfect enough. You need a collective group of people to help you to get to where you're trying to go. And so let's get back on the real estate topic. If you got a deal that's sitting on the market right now, let's talk about it. Right? Let's talk about how to get this deal sold off the market so you can move to the next one. And here's what I'm seeing on the market today. I'm seeing projects that are finished that are not selling. Good projects, decent projects. I'm talking about livable homes. But when you're fixing and flipping in today's market, there are a few things that we all need to be mindful about. One of them is price. One of them is finishes. And I think there's another one in there somewhere, but let's talk about price and finishes. Here's what I'm seeing on the market today of properties that are selling fast and getting people above asking price is when you price your property appropriately. What do I mean? You need to create demand and momentum. You want a buyer's market. You want a seller's market and a buyer's market. How do you do that? You do that by pricing your property below market. So on average, if properties are selling at $215,000, you're going to list yours at $199, maybe $190, right? And because the psychology of people wanting to get a deal, and what happens is they put a full price offer or they put a above asking price offer on a property, knowing that you can at least go up to 215. That's what the property is probably worth. What happens is that now you have competing factors. You have this person that wants it and this person that wants it. All you need is two people that want a property to get above asking price. That's all you need. Just two people. You don't need 100 people. You don't need 1,000 people. You just need two people that really want the property. One person to sell it, two people to actually get above asking price. Because what happens is now ego comes in. Now desire comes in. Motivation comes in. They probably tired of looking at homes, especially if you in the season for looking at home. They probably tired of looking at homes. This home fits their character and their desires and the things that they want for their family. And so they'll fight for it because an extra $10,000 compared to somebody that's buying a property maybe cost them an extra $100, $200, a couple $100. So if I got to give you an extra $20,000 to get the house that me and my family gonna live in, we're gonna do that. The second thing is finishes, man. Like when I buy a house, I'm always mindful of what the buyer will see when they pull up to the house. I'm always mindful, right? Matter of fact, let's go backwards. I'm even more mindful of the neighborhood because you can have a beautiful house in a terrible neighborhood, and that is a disaster. I know I don't even know this person, but I've been watching this house because it's in a neighborhood where I'm familiar with. And they purchased the property next to two, I think they're halfway homes. I don't know exactly where they are, but you can tell that there are people outside loitering and drinking. And the property is beautiful, but it's been sitting. And they constantly keep reducing the price because most people, they don't want to bring their family to a neighborhood that could potentially be, harmful to them. So that's the first thing, right? When I buy a house, I'm always thinking about what the end buyer is going to see. I'm always thinking about the architectural charm of the house. I want someone to pull up and look at the houses and fall in love with the exterior. Because imagine this, right? Imagine this. Let's just think about it. When you come home every day, the first thing you see is the neighborhood and the house you looking at, the house you about to go into. And if you don't feel good about the house that you're going into, you won't feel good being in that house. And so I'm mindful of that. I'm mindful of the architectural charm of these homes because this is what buyers are looking for, the right buyers. The second thing is that you want to make sure that, when you're doing these renovations, that you're not just doing bare minimum, right? I would always, and this is always my recommendation, when you buying a house, right, go find a comparable, compare it to your price point, try to identically mirror what the person did, because more than likely that's what you'll get. And then to do a little bit extra, add an extra backsplash, add a more nicer looking tile, right? Or matter of fact, go look at the market and see what people are desiring. Go talk to a realtor. Go get real data, real information, and understand what people are buying, what the finish need to look like. My last two properties, I asked my realtor, because there are trends. You need to be mindful of the trends when it comes to real estate. There are real estate trends, and the trends look like, it may be all silver finishes with white countertops, or it may be all gold finishes with black countertops, black hardware. Right now, my realtor have advised me that people are falling in love with the oak hardwood floors, and black finishes, white cabinets, white countertops. And so this is my second time doing it, and I can tell you it works. But originally, what I desired to do is I wanted to do the white cabinets with the gold finishes, and my realtor was like, "That's played out. People over that." And so you got to be mindful as an investor. You got to be mindful about the trends, because renovating this property isn't about what you want. It's about what the buyer wants. And you got to think like a buyer, not like somebody that's going to be actually living in the house. And put y'all questions in the chat, because I'm watching to see, if y'all got any. But the worst thing you can do is renovate a house like you're going to live in it. You see it all day. I wish I had a picture of a property that I looked at today, and I didn't have to look no further, and I could tell you that this was somebody that lived in this house, because it's the way they renovated. They renovated with their own liking, their own taste, and ain't nothing wrong with that. But the challenge with that is when you go to sell it, because you have such a unique product, is that when you sell it, you're going to have to find a unique person. What you should be doing is renovating properties to a certain standard where majority will love it, because you only need one person to buy it and two people to run up the price. But if nobody want it, then you never sell it, right? So that's my advice, man. I wanted to jump on here and give y'all some insight about that. And let's just stay connected, man. I want to continue to do this. I love when people ask questions, but ain't nobody got no questions today, and that's all good, because I love y'all for you. But I'm out, y'all. See y'all next time. Peace.